Hey everyone, Deadpool Negative here, back with yet another. We're going to talk about some relaunches. Well, it's back with one of my favorite Marvel characters, my all-time favorite Marvel character. Sometimes, depending on how I'm feeling that day and how bad the current writer of Daredevil is. Um, Thankfully, Daredevil's between writers right now. So, Deadpool is relaunched as Wade Wilson Deadpool because the last Deadpool series, they decided to kill Wade off a couple issues in and replace him with the now suddenly teenaged Ellie as Deadpool. I mean, eventually he came back pretty quickly, but it's like, why does Marvel keep launching titles tied in like around the time the movies featuring their characters come out and like that don't have the character in it? It's like Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. It started with the death of Doctor Strange. Now that eventually all paid off, but at the same time, it's like, well, then what is the actual harm in just doing a comic that is this hero, their typical thing? I mean, and also like Ellie, I think has been an overused plot point. I'm going to go on. I've never liked the addition of Ellie um, to the Deadpool mythos, and I'm sure there's somebody in the audience saying, "Well, that's because you're a racist." Um, oh, there's probably a guy. Here's my issue with it. One, I think Jerry Duggan is a creep. Okay, that's not, but it was his idea. Two, it's a reminder that like Deadpool couldn't save her mother. She died in a North Korean internment camp for some bizarre reason. Like the whole character, like she's Deadpool fathers an illegitimate child. The kid is raised by her mother for 3 or 4 years, then is kidnapped by a rogue element of the Weapon X program operating on his own. They leave the mother in a Korean prison camp. They don't kill her, you know, and then he decides to leave the girl with his brother who doesn't have any kids, doesn't have a wife, which I thought was interesting. And he raises her at his own and dies in Deadpool's arms, begging him to take care of her because he loves her. And, Deadpool does his best. He leaves her in the end of Jerry Duggan's run. Um, he leaves her in the custody of, um, Preston, and has his memory wiped of her, which I thought was appropriate. But then Scotty Young brought her back almost immediately, which I thought, again, it's like those Marvel suits think, hey, kid of hero, legacy character, new action figure to market. I mean, wasn't that the entire point of the Jason Aaron run of Avengers? Um, my problem with Ellie, in basic terms, is Deadpool. It gives Deadpool a reason to stop being Deadpool. It gives him a reason to make tons of money, retire. Like that's the other thing. Deadpool doesn't need me. He does what he does because he doesn't. My read of the character has been he does what he does because he doesn't see another reason to exist. Keep giving him a kid gives him a reason to calm down and not be Deadpool. This isn't like Spider-Man, where he can't help, even as a parent, he can't help not being Spider-Man, despite what Tom DeFalco will make you think. Um, this isn't like Superman or Batman. This is Deadpool. He's not a hero. He's an anti-hero. If he has a reason to quit being Deadpool to be a parent, he'll do that. That is my read of the character, and because I've been reading him for 35 years. And I'm not saying I know better than Jerry Duggan. I'm saying I'm not. Am I saying I know better than Jerry Duggan? I'm saying that I understand Daniel Way's run on the title now. Let's put it that way. Um, that is like but I want to get that out of the way because I want to admit that's a personal issue and hang up of mine. The Iron Man relaunch came out a couple weeks ago, and I was loving it until the last page, when all of a sudden the Avengers were like, "Well, Tony's on a quest to we're gonna have to hunt down and get Tony." Like that is literally the plot point of the last 4 runs of Iron Man. Iron Man on the run, Iron Man hunted, Iron Man's gone rogue, nobody trusts him. Like, I get it. You people don't like writing billionaires who are benevolent. Guess what? People like reading about billionaires who are benevolent. It's fiction. It's entertainment. Hire a writer who has a pitch other than Iron Man goes on the run, or don't publish Iron Man comics. And with Cody Ziegler's, but back to Deadpool, with Cody Ziegler's run, it became apparent to me that Marvel was gonna fall into the same trap with Deadpool, in that the series run focuses too much on Ellie. I don't read Ellie comics. I read Deadpool comics. And I'm sorry, if Deadpool wants to be Deadpool, he's going to stay out of Ellie's life. He's going to not make her his teen killing, his murderous teen protege. That struck me as absolutely insane. I mean, I understood, new action figure, but yeah. So I was really enjoying this issue because Benjamin Percy, not an art writer I normally like. I mean, the short answer is like he did a story about Wolverine. Took place a 10-issue epic that took place over to redefine Wolverine's history, and he didn't once think, okay, Romulus is a robot. Ooh. He does great characterization, but his stories don't always pay off for me. I don't think, Wolverine, despite having the least amount of interference from editorial, never quite clicked for me during the Hoxpox run. I mean, compared to who's writing Wolverine now, it's utter genius. But he does these interesting things, and they never really quite gel for me. Like Year Zero, I thought was, of course, Year Zero was actually a really excellent book until he got into the most offensive bit of nerd baiting I'd ever seen. Like, fat nerds don't think they can't figure out what a male voice sounds like over the radio. Like, that was your gag? Like, fuck off. Fat male nerds are reading your shit. I think he's talented. I just think he needs a lot of work. And, Marvel Editorial, they're not really interested in getting the best out of their creators. I think that's really obvious. I think if some put Percy on Deathstroke, we'd see very different results. But he's there at Marvel, and his Punisher was generic, and it was also like the 5,000th Punisher's being controlled story, which is also in the other Punisher miniseries that's out at the same time, because God forbid any Marvel editor communicate with another Marvel editor. Okay, rant over. I bet you could get Fabian Nicieza, if you just gave Deadpool back to his co-creator, Fabian Nicieza, you would get as good and probably better sales than you would with Benjamin Percy. That's just my feeling about that. But we've got Benjamin Percy, and for the most part, I thought he did a really good job. Deadpool is suicidal. He keeps wanting to get hurt, getting shot. He basically begs. He does a job for Hammerhead, and basically begs Hammerhead to murder him. There's a really nice 2-page spread by Geoff Shaw, showing him getting murdered over and over again in comics and stories that we haven't seen. Um, we find out, and he's lived with he's moved into Blind Owl's place again. You know, you got to find a better way to live with the pain. And oh yeah, you find out he's all depressed because Ellie's missing. Okay, okay. At least she's not the point of the book. Um, but I do appreciate that Percy is at least trying to deal with and address depression and mental illness, which no writer has taken seriously the character since Jerry Duggan. I will give Jerry Duggan credit that he has did do one or two like great Deadpool stories, and the one about the kid, the suicidal kid in Deadpool, is probably one of his best stories. Period. But I appreciate what Percy is trying to do. He's trying to make it funny, trying to make it like familiar. That's another thing. He's actually writing a Deadpool book. He's not writing a Deadpool book where he's gotta like ignore the like he's ashamed of the premise, like the Iron Man writers have been. Um, but then something really weird happens. He starts getting messages from a mysterious source about things that are actually due to happen, which is interesting. Which means he says on what did he say on the last page? Is this what I think it is? My shot at being an honest to goodness hero. Because the next information is about a hostage situation, a terrorist attack that he has to prevent. And I also want to say, Geoff Shaw does a great kinetic, sometimes a little too gory, but it's great kinetic artwork. He did draw a short story that Alyssa during the Alyssa Wong collected in the Alyssa Wong the first Alyssa Wong Deadpool story was drawn by Shaw, and he did a great job with it. Um, like literally, it's just ridiculous. And I like the use of Hammerhead as I'm hoping is a recurring antagonist. Um, although, like, if I really want to, kind of makes me wish maybe Frank Terry was writing the book instead because he could have real fun with that, you know. And also, like, I'm also a little disappointed in Marvel because Deadpool got a great 3 issue miniseries during Age of Revelation by Tim Seeley, and Tim Seeley is writing X Force, which I read the first issue of, and sorry, Tim, didn't enjoy. But this feels like it's starting in a good place. Let's see, Mark Bass as the editor. I really don't like that. This is all because of Ellie's story, but on the other hand, like it made me feel like the guy writing the book wanted to make a Deadpool comic. He has a good starting point, good ideas. It may pay off it may not pay off right like most of all Benjamin Percy comics I've read, but I'm willing to give it a shot, and I think you should give it a shot too. This is Dan Coyle. This is Deadpool Negative, and I will talk to you later.